Hey, good people. Arthur Morris here. Hope all is well. In this video, we are going to look at using synthetic division to find the quotient and remainder when x, half of that got cut off. So let me see here. When x to the fourth plus 4x to the third minus 5x minus 11 is divided by, and we are dividing that by x plus 4. So when it's divided by x plus 4 is what that says. And it wants us to write our quotient in the form of a fraction. Okay. All right, so the first thing that I see here is that this polynomial is not in full descending variable order. We have a missing term. So if you look, the first term has x to the fourth, and then x to the third, and then x to the first. So we don't have an x to the second. However, when you're doing long division or synthetic division, you need to make sure that every uh, exponent is shown here. Every exponent is represented. So if you start with 4, you need to have 4, 3, 2, 1, and then no variables there. So I'm going to rewrite that as x to the fourth. And this is only for division purposes, long division and the synthetic division. So since I don't have x squared, I add in what we call the missing term, and we add it in as 0, so no x squares. But I need to show that to make this problem work out correctly. And it's always plus 0x squared, plus 0x to the whatever power that you are missing. Okay. Now synthetic division, to set up synthetic division, you use the coefficients from your dividend to go on the inside. So we have 1, 4, 0, negative 5, negative 11. So if you look here on the inside of this division, you have 1, 4, 0, negative 5, negative 11. And I'm going to rewrite that. And then for the outside, you always use the opposite of your divisor number, the coefficient or the integer that's in your divisor. So if it's x plus 4, then we put a negative 4 on the outside. So we always use the opposite sign of that number. And that takes care of your subtraction step in if we were actually doing long division. Okay, so you use the coefficients from your dividend on the inside, and then use the opposite sign of the integer in your divisor. Now, to use synthetic division, the polynomial has to be divided by a binomial, and that binomial has to have the coefficient of 1 on its leading term. So it has to be 1x to the first power, or x or y to the first power, or plus a number. That's it. But that is a condition that has to be met. This can't be 3x or 3x squared. It has to be x to the first power. All right, let's go through the process here. And I'm going to drop a dotted line here because whatever I get at the very end, that represents my remainder. And it's a simple process, okay? So you just have to practice it. So you bring down the first number on the inside, and then you multiply the outside number by that number underneath the line, negative 4 times 1, and whatever you get as a result, you move it up, you bounce it up. So negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. And then you add those two numbers, or subtract in this case. 4 minus 4 is 0. So you bring that result down. And then again, you go through the process. Negative 4 times 0 is 0. And whatever you get when you multiply, you bounce that result up. 0 plus 0 is 0. So you do it again. Negative 4 times 0 here is 0. Negative 5 plus 0 is negative 5. So you do it one more time. Negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20. And negative 11 minus 20 is positive 9. Now the numbers that you get underneath are the numbers that you get here. That 1, 0, 0, and negative 5, that represents the coefficients of your answer, of your quotient. And then that 9 is going to represent the remainder. So notice that we started with x to the fourth. Your answer will always start with the exponent, the next exponent smaller than that leading exponent. So my answer will start with 1 from here, 1x to the third, plus 0x squared, plus 0x. So 1x to the third, 0x squared, 0x minus 5, plus your remainder 9 over your divisor, x plus 4. Okay, so we wouldn't need all of that, those zeros there. We don't have to write those. So we would clean that up and write it as understood 1x to the third minus 5 plus 9 over x plus 4. Okay, so we're going to look at a couple of more examples so we can get this pattern down. All right, so this one we have negative 8x to the third plus 21x squared minus 20 divided by x minus 2. So again, we have a missing term because we start with 8x to the third, and we have x squared, but we don't have x to the first power. So let's rewrite that to include the missing term. We don't have x to the first power, so I'll write that in as 0x. So divided by x minus 2. Okay, so to set this up in synthetic division, again, make this bar here. The coefficients from my dividend go on the inside, so negative 8, 21, 0, and negative 20. The opposite of that number goes on the outside. So since I have x minus 2, then on the outside of here I will put positive 2. All right, and again I like to put a dotted line right before that last number because I know that that will be my remainder at the end. Okay, so start the process out. Go ahead and bring down the first number, negative 8. And then we have 2 times negative 8 gives us negative 16. So we bounce that up. 21 minus 16 is positive 5. 2 times positive 5 is positive 10. 0 plus 10 is 10. 2 times 10 is 20, positive 20. And then negative 20 plus 20 is 0. Okay, so I see that my dividend started off with x to the third, so my quotient will start off with the exponent 1 smaller than that one, using these numbers as my coefficients. So negative 8x squared plus 5x plus 10. And since they are asking us to write the remainder out, even though the remainder is 0, we will write plus 0 over x minus 2. So again, in the answer, you just go in descending order, but you start off with the exponent that's one smaller than your dividend. So we start off with x to the third here. So we will go x squared, x to the first, no x's, plus your remainder. Alrighty, let's look at one more example. All right, so here we are dividing by x plus 4. So we have x to the fourth plus 4x to the third minus 5x minus 11 divided by x plus 4. Again, we have a missing term there because we go 4, 3, but we don't have the x squared. So I'll add that in as 0x squared and then continue on. So divided by x plus 4. All right, so let's set this up. On the inside, our coefficients go from the dividend. And remember, this is an understood 1 in front of x to the fourth. So 1, 4, 0, negative 5, negative 11. On the outside, it's always the opposite of whatever integer is in your divisor. So negative 4. All right. Now you may want to pause it at this point and try to see if you can go through the process and come back. Okay, so bring down the 1. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Add these numbers just like they are. Add or subtract just like they are. You won't be changing any signs. So 4 minus 4 is 0. Multiply. Negative 4 times 0 is 0. Combine those. Multiply. Negative 4 times 0 is 0. Negative 5 plus 0 is negative 5. And then multiply one more time. Negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20 with the remainder of 9. Okay, so we started off with x to the fourth in our dividend, so our answer will start off with x to the third, and the coefficients for our quotient are right there. So 1x to the third, 0x squared plus 0x minus 5 plus the remainder of 9 over x plus 4. So again, x to the third minus 5 plus 9 over x plus 4. I think we just worked a problem similar to that one, or the exact problem. So I'm not sure how it snuck back in there, but that was good practice. Alrighty, good people. Hope you found this video to be helpful. I will see you on the next one. Thank you.